Former President Kgalema Motlanthe has arrived at Champagne Valley in KwaZulu-Natal, where his foundation is hosting the Inclusive Growth Forum as part of Youth Month. Motlanthe says former presidents should use their privileged access to sitting presidents to be champions for the marginalised, like the youth. His foundation will engage thought leaders in response to President Cyril Ramaphosa's THUMA MINA call. Earlier, I spoke to our reporter Nthakoana Ngatane, who is at Champagne Valley.
Well, at the moment, Nompu, we are putting final touches to this event that is expected to start any moment now. I think in a couple of hours it will begin. But as you can see behind me, nothing happens in the Drakensberg without the Drakensberg Boys Choir. They will be serenading us with their sounds this afternoon. But we are here for serious business, and that is the Inclusive Growth Forum. Now, from the Gordon Institute of Business Science is Professor Nick Binedell. He is not only a professor, but he is also the program director for this event. Now, Prof, let's talk about education and goals for the economy. Now, we know that by the numbers of youth that are unemployed in South Africa, there is a mismatch. We are doing badly, aren't we?
Well, we are. We do face a very major challenge in education. And I think this session hopefully will bring some new ideas. But public education is the core of how a modern economy competes. We were a mining economy, we're less of a mining economy now, we're a services economy. And so mathematics and science is how all countries like ours compete in a very flat world in this very, very competitive environment. We have to upgrade our public education system, not just the schooling curriculum, but also what surrounds young people as they learn about the modern world and their place in it. The next generation will be hungry to take part in jobs, in creating jobs, in being entrepreneurs, in becoming leaders, and the core of education is at the heart of that. When I look at other emerging countries like China and India and Brazil, they really are far ahead of us. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Now, let's talk about this particular event. Now, we know that there will be young people here. We know that there will be statisticians, economists, engineers, but also there will be people who will talk about where we come from in terms of state capture and how we move forward in terms of strengthening the state. How important is that?
It's critically important because in any country you have to understand how you've got in the room and where you are. But you've got to acknowledge that what you're doing in the room is not how you're going to get out of the room. And so this conversation is about the future, how to build an inclusive economy in which all South Africans can contribute. We have lost a generation. We can't afford to keep losing this tremendous human energy, not only for people's dignity and self-worth, but also to be a productive society. So it's a very, very important discussion.
But of course, underlining the word inclusive means that we come from a history that we know has a lot of inequality.
Of course.
How do we address that, particularly in education?
Over time, of course, because education's a complex system. But we need teachers, we need leaders of education to understand we must deal with the past, we must acknowledge how we've got to where we are. But as important, if not more important, is where we're going. And to know where we're going, we have to have the right curriculum, the right commitment from teachers, the right leadership from schools, the right governance and the right resourcing in the education system.
But I have to take advantage now that you're here talking to us to ask you, anytime now President Donald Trump might introduce new tariffs for China. How does that affect us?
Well, it does affect us because the global economy is very connected and the rise of China has been probably the most important economic event in the last 30 years. So this great power, the United States, is being challenged by a new power and they've got to sort out the rules of the game. And America may put in tariffs to shut down a bit and protect itself, but I don't think it's going to be that easy because we've developed this economic system now of countries being able to trade to their advantage in a global system. So there'll be pushback not only from China but from Europe and South Africa against creating too many barriers. So America has a tough dilemma and Trump seems to be pushing very hard. There will be pushback. It will get resolved, I hope, in a productive way so that economies don't become isolated and they are connected to each other and can trade and offer their best both for attracting investment and for exporting. We need to export. South Africa is quite a small economy. We must continue to export.
Thank you very much, Professor Nick Binadel from the Gordon Institute of Business Science. And as I say, we have about 2 hours, and this event here will begin and go on for the next 3 days with minds coming together to talk about a South Africa that we have, a South Africa that we want, and how to get there.